I guess maybe drawing that down. I actually was never trained on those. Do you know that? They don't train you on that. So I guess you have to be a professor just sort of flying by the seat of your pants. They don't even teach you how to pull down the thing to get stick. I've never quite understood them. There's like something about pulling it and like stopping quickly. I don't know. Pretty cool. So I often second semester of the school year we'll just launch into material on the first day and not really go over the syllabus in detail. However, we have several people in this class that were not in one of my classes last semester, so I will go ahead and slow it down and go through the syllabus. And who knows, you might learn something. Those of you who took my mechatronics class last semester, or my measurements class, are pretty used to how this goes, but there might be some things that you didn't quite pick up on the first time through. So I'll go through the syllabus today, kind of give an overview of what we're doing in this course, and then we'll pick it up on Friday for lectures. So system dynamics and control. So this course I teach kind of as a continuity of the mechatronics course. You can think of the mechatronics course that we took as being the dynamic systems for electromechanical systems. So we kind of taught it from that perspective so that we would be prepared this term to really launch into some details of how dynamic systems work. So remember that dynamic systems are those systems that evolve in time. They typically have differential equations that describe their behavior, or at least we can model their behavior with a differential equation, might be the better way to put it. So, man, I wish I had those. So we are, I'm sure those are like donuts or something, I don't know. So we've got dynamic systems sort of expanded upon in this term. And so the notes / pseudo book draft that we'll be using this term mostly is called Dynamic Systems 2, a deeper look. Okay. So we're going to continue using differential equations to describe dynamic systems. We're going to look a little bit deeper at a couple of specific types first. So first and second order systems specifically. Then recall in the mechatronics course that we learned how to model systems using state equations, right? So state equations are just a specific form of differential equation that describe the dynamics of a system. They're sort of matrix form. And we're going to learn how to solve those analytically and numerically, from a very high level. We're going to use MATLAB, or maybe Python. I've flirted with doing it in Python, but I know there's more love for MATLAB in the room. So, and we'll use some built-in solvers to do that. So we don't have to actually write our own numerical solvers, but we're going to learn how to use libraries that are existing to solve them. And then we're going to learn a couple other types of dynamic system representation. So transfer function, we flirted with that a little bit in mechatronics, but we're going to get into more detail on the transfer function. The frequency response function as well, Bode plots, and then the mysterious what is called the frequency domain. So Fourier, Laplace, okay, so that's all coming. And then we're going to switch gears. We're going to switch gears from system dynamics to control, okay? And control is, okay, now you've got this nice mathematical model for your system. How do you make it do what you want? Using some actuators typically with some sensors for feedback to see what the system's actually doing. You then actuate it to make it do what you want. So we'll switch gears in the last maybe 6-7 weeks, something like that, probably more like 5-6 weeks, we will do control. So that's what we're doing in this course, kind of broadly. Any questions on that? I got this sweater for Christmas. I thought it was pretty cool. I hope your breaks were as good as mine. I hope you got some cool sweaters. Okay, so let's march through the syllabus then. It is spring 2018, just so you know. I know. So, well, I mean, roughly. That's what we call it. We're sort of a glass half full kind of place. So, this is a table of contents at the top of the page. Oh, this website, you can't really see it because my face is covering it. There you go. That is not it. This is my local version. But if you go to that URL, which is my full name with a dot before the O-N-E, or ricopicconi.com gets you here, but I like this URL better because it's cool and it's not .com. I feel weird being like .com. It's like brand. I don't like it. Anyways. Okay, so this, I run my courses in a pretty like involved way, and I really, really, really want people to buy into the way that I do it. I think that if you buy into the process, I think that you'll get a lot more out of the course. So I'll kind of describe that. So this is just sort of describing the course. I didn't mention in detail the specific types of dynamic systems we would consider, but electrical, mechanical, those were already covered in mechatronics, so we'll still use those, but we're not going to go into a lot of detail as far as how to conceptualize those. If you need a refresher on that, then I would recommend looking at the mechatronics course website and the notes associated with that. There are lots of notes on that. And the YouTube lectures, so that too. So we're going to also, in this course, we're going to add to our repertoire fluid and thermal domains, so fluid and thermal systems. We're going to, once again, model using lumped parameter perspective. So something to look forward to there. Good. Time domain and frequency domain, like I mentioned, and then we'll do some controls. My office hours are a little weird this term. I'm just going to be in the afternoon, Monday and Friday. If I can manage to get my dog neutered soon, then he can go to, like, what is it, like puppy or like dogs class, or I don't know. Like go play with other dogs. Anyways, dog college. Yeah, we'll call it that. So dog college, apparently you can't go impregnate lots of dogs there. So not like real college. It just sort of takes the fun out of it. So anyhow, yes. God. Okay, so we're in Old Main. I have never taught in this building before, so it's a new experience for me. I feel like it's going to get really hot in here when it gets warm outside.
It does in the summer. It's insanely hot.
I'll have to lose this sweater by then, that's for sure. Because it's, I asked for another location, but apparently this time is like prime time. I didn't ask for this time either. It just was given this. So anyhow, at this point, it was too much of an uphill battle to change anything. Plus, it's pie room, so I kind of like that. So, yeah. There is a course website, like I said. So once you do get to my page, go to courses, and then system dynamics and control will get you to the syllabus. This is where everything's going to be. There's going to be a Moodle page as well, but the Moodle page is going to just have your grades on it and the homework quizzes, which we'll talk more about. So Moodle page, is not a place where you're going to find a lot of stuff. Communication will be done via Slack, which is another thing we'll talk about. Textbook-wise, those of you who are in mechatronics, system dynamics and introduction by Rowland Wormley is the main text for the dynamic systems portion. We're going to finish that book, so we're going to skip like one chapter, I think, or maybe two in the whole book, and then 15 is the last chapter. And then we'll switch over to the Nice Control Systems Engineering textbook. If you don't, I don't care which edition you get. The 7th edition is the latest. If you get, it's a few years old now, so you should be able to get a used copy. If you are worried about timing, we don't need it until at least halfway through the course, so you've got some time to get a used copy. You can get an old copy, but just there is some homework assigned from the new edition, so get with somebody, make sure you're doing the right problems. Yeah. Notes. So this is one of the big things about how I run the courses. Partial notes will be posted to the Dynamic Systems Volume 2, A Deeper Look. I don't know. I couldn't think of a good name, so that's what it is for now. Page. So if you click on that, you get this, which is for now just like, I pretty much just put up the old one because I didn't have it ready for today. But by Friday, there will be the new material on here. So let's learn how to navigate this, because at the end of last term, I still had some trouble. People still had some trouble finding stuff. So at the bottom of the table of contents, which gives you like each lecture in the table of contents, you will find this little link here. So if you click on that, this is where the source code will be given if I do a code-based example in class. Okay, so you'll be able to get the source code here, and load it up on your laptop or in one of the labs here. And then a single file PDF will be available here. So this is going to be one big PDF file with everything in it, all the lectures in it, and appendices and all that. So by the end of the term, it's going to be 200 pages probably, or something like that. So I recommend probably waiting on using that one till towards the end, because that's when it'll be all updated. The individual files will be broken down here. So what I'll have you do is before class each day, I'll tell you on Slack which lectures are prepared for printing, are ready to go on the website. You'll open up the PDF. Oh, that was not found because I haven't uploaded them yet. And it'll be like a 3 or 4 page PDF. Print that out and bring it to class, and there will be some fill-ins. Okay? So then, and like keep a binder or something. I see people with like a folder and like loose pages stuff in their backpacks, and I'm like, this isn't working, clearly. And there's a lot of incentive to use a system for keeping the notes, because you get to use them on the exams, but you don't get to use your textbook. So it's worth doing, I think. Okay, so that's the notes thing. Yes?
So by notes, you mean like, once we get to those exams, whatever lectures have been covered, so all the printable lectures?
Yeah, so on the exams, you'll be able to bring all those ones you printed out in with your own writing on them, and any other notes of your own. So if you wrote some on other sheets of paper, that's fine too. Your own material that you've written is fine to bring into exams. I don't want to see like solution manuals and that type of thing, which I have seen before, and I'm like, it's just not the point of what we're doing. So yeah, good. And so I'll let you know before. So I'll say like lectures 4 through 8 are ready to print. So you can go ahead and print them then. Yeah. I'll try to get them to you as early as possible, but sometimes it won't be until like 2 a.m. the night before. When I say sometimes, that's probably what it's going to be every time. So it's never the plan, but it's always what happens.
Do you have the URL for the Slack page set up already? Or
Oh yeah,
okay.
it's ready. That's been upgraded. We'll talk about it. So the schedule is tentative, but it's roughly going to go like this. This week's a short week, so it's going to bleed a little bit into next week. But we're going to cover Rowell and Wormley chapters 9 through 15. Approximately, we're going to jump back and do a little bit of stuff with fluid and thermal elements partway through. And there's homework every week. You might notice there are 15 weeks before finals, and homework is assigned every week except for this week. Okay? That includes the week of the midterm exam. I mean, there may not be a quiz the week of the midterm exam, but there will be homework so you can practice doing the problems before the exam. So, it's pretty, there's 14 assignments, okay? They're already up there. So, like, I might mix them around a little bit, but they're pretty much all ready to go. It's a pretty intensive semester. Some people have told me that they feel that system dynamics is a little bit faster paced than the mechatronics class. So just keep that in mind. It might be a little bit more challenging than the mechatronics course. Yes. Final exam. So here are the assignments. They're listed here. Most of them are assigned either out of Rowell and Wormley or out of the Nice textbook towards the end of the semester. So there's that. Class resources we've listed here throughout the semester. So there's just like some notes up there. Some of this is useful, some of it's not, but I'll try to refer to them throughout the term when I think that there's a useful one that comes up. Here comes the video lectures portion. So if you go to this link, that's my YouTube channel, you can subscribe. This is a link to specifically the playlist. There's already a playlist up for this course. And that playlist is going to have, this will be the first lecture in there, it'll have the videos in order. And I try to get them up there within, so like last semester I was having some technical difficulties, but hopefully this term I don't have as many and I get them up the same day, hopefully. So yeah, so that's something if you miss class, you can go back, or when you're doing homework, you can refer to something. So I think I've gotten, most people seem to like that. So we'll see. Slack. So everyone's required to join the messaging service called Slack. It's free, so don't worry. We'll use it to communicate with each other during the semester. The Slack team you join is called Dr. Rico. So, by the way, that's who I am. That's me. I didn't introduce myself at the beginning. I think most of you know who I am. You can call me Dr. Rico or Dr. Piccone. Aaron.
Dr. Rico.
Thanks. So here it is. Here's the Slack. So just go ahead and jump in the conversation. There's the 370 general and the 370 homework. Now all of my classes are going to be on the same Slack team, I guess. So everybody will just join it. So I actually converted the one from mechatronics over into this. So everybody who was in the mechatronics one is already in this one, which is hopefully convenient. You don't have to like go do something else. So join these channels, the 370 general and 370 homework. Definitely random. There's always some funny stuff that gets posted on there, mostly by me. No, I'm just kidding. But yes, definitely. So this is where we'll be doing our communication, okay? So if you want to send me a direct message, you can, so that's private. If you want to set up your own channel, like with your own study group, you can do that. It turns out I can spy on you, but I wouldn't. But one of my grad students wrote a bot, and I might introduce this bot later to this team. It's Slocrates or Slacrates. We're trying to decide. He likes Slocrates better, but Slacrates is my preference. Anyways, but it's a bot that'll help you maybe with your homework. We'll see. We've been playing with it. But anyways, when he was doing that, he's like, "Yeah, I can print out all of the like private messages and everything." And I was like, "Oh, I wouldn't do that," but apparently I could do that. So that's cool. But you can do private channels. I promise. I won't look. I actually really want you guys to be able to communicate privately among each other, and I'm really not like gonna stoop on you guys. I don't care. You guys can complain about me. I already know you do, so it's fine.
You looked.
Yeah, I looked. No, there are those end of semester evaluations, so I know. No, actually, you guys are usually pretty nice on those. But people, there's a little Easter egg on here now too. You can upload your own emojis. So that creepy face of me is now, thank you, is now an emoji. You can emoji my face on things. So that's fun. Anyways, there's lots of fun that will be had on there. Talk about the homework, ask questions. If you ask a homework question on the homework channel, that's really helpful because other people will see it. Maybe they'll join in the conversation. Other people probably have similar questions. There are like 35 plus people in this class. Pretty big class, right? So I promise that other people are confused if you're confused. So ask the questions out here so that when I answer, you can private message me if you need to, but I prefer you to ask them out here so that other people can get help on the homework too. Okay, that's the Slack thing. So this is a link right here. So you can go ahead and join. If you have a St. Martin's email address, you are allowed to join. So it's pretty open, but yeah. Okay. Homework, quiz, and exam policy. So I found out that Fridays are the day for things to be due last term. So weekly homework will be due, in quotes, on Friday, but it will not be turned in for credit. However, this is very important, each week a quiz will be given on Friday that will cover that week's homework. Not this week. This week we have a freebie. Next week, though, on Friday, there will be a quiz over that week's homework, which is assignment number 1. You could probably get started any time, although we haven't really lectured, so you might not be ready for it yet. But you could get an idea of what we're doing. So quizzes will be available on Moodle each Friday. So usually they're going to be up around noon 12 to 2-ish, in that range. And they'll be due midnight. So you'll have the afternoon and the evening to get them done. Work on the homework in a group. Yeah.
So just real quick, so on Fridays, is there any time to potentially talk about questions on the homework that doesn't make it to Slack? If it's due Friday, do you ever?
In class?
Yeah, like students like, I didn't understand.
Occasionally.
Yeah.
There's a lot I want to talk about, though.
Okay.
But yeah, you can always ask them. I may not feel like we have time to talk about it, but yeah, you always feel free to ask. And then if my office hours, come prepared when you come bring questions office hours, but some of those can be answered then too. I'm gonna try to add, if I can get Niles in. Niles is my dog. You'll hear more about him. Niles, if I can get him in dog college, then I might add some Wednesday office hours and switch things around. My Wednesdays currently, though, are a blur because I teach all afternoon. So, yes. Okay. Working in groups on homework is strongly encouraged. Please do. If you don't have a group to work on the homework, probably going to struggle. So, get in a group. But the quizzes must be completed individually. So, when you answer the question in the quiz, this should be an answer that you understand. Okay, so please, I really, it seems like a lot of times I'll get people in my office at the end of the term and they have 99% on the quizzes and 30% on the exams, and that just looks suspicious to me. Yeah, I just feel like it probably doesn't reflect that person's understanding at the end. So please, don't be that guy. Or gal. I hate saying gal. That's silly. Okay. Or woman.
That feels worse.
Yeah. Let's move on before this gets weird.
Yeah.
Oh, this is just the beginning. Okay. Exam policies. The midterm and final exams will be in class.
Not this class, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Sadly, we're going to be confined to these little miniature desks for the exams. Ugh. But, you know, we'll make do what we can. I've seen a lot worse though. Like, you guys know those little fold-out things?
Yeah, the physics room still has those.
Yeah, I taught a class of 230 people with like 205 seats. So people in like the aisles. And they were like trying to take engineering exams on that little thing. You can't even fit a whole sheet of paper on that.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. So this is better than that at least. Okay, so no exam may be taken early. Makeup exams require a doctor's note, excusing the absence during the exam. Final exam will be cumulative. So you can't just forget everything from the beginning at the end. Although I will say that the final exam does have a stronger focus on the material that we cover after the midterm. There's only one midterm in the class because of how the class is broken up with material. Grading policy. So total grades in the course may be curved. They were last semester. But individual homework quizzes and exams will not be. So, you know, if everybody gets a 7% on the midterm exam, then I'm not going to curve it. But at the end of the class, I might curve it. We'll see. If you get the sense that grades are totally made up,
Yes.
you're right. Yes, they are. Okay. So I know that's disheartening to hear, but it's the truth. And I just feel like we just need to speak the truth here.
Truth to power.
Truth to power. Of course, I think I am the power in this case, which means I don't know. Okay, so homework quizzes are 20% of your grade, so it's definitely, it's not a token amount of your grade. I mean, it's 2-letter grades worth of your grade, so you got to do them. But it's also not enough for you to pass the course if you just do the quizzes correctly, right? So if you just do the quizzes well, and then you fail the exams, you won't pass the class. Okay? So that's an important thing to recognize. You have to be able to pass the exams to pass the class. Cheating or plagiarism of any kind won't be tolerated, resulting in an F in the class. I take it really seriously, especially because we're an engineering school and we're educating people who are going to have people's lives that they're responsible for. So I do take that really seriously. Do not cheat. And this is like for ABET, for the accreditation stuff. But it's interesting to look at. I made this really pretty chart. So, yeah. And then here's that photo of me, this little sketch of me that people find creepy. So
That's you?
I did. Yeah, that's me. And look, I found this thing. Look, you can grab it. And it's ghost me. So you can be like, assignment 7, and then I will be hovering there, floating across it, eerily. Okay, so that's mostly what this class is like. Any questions? Is that clock correct? Oh, there's 2 clocks. That's gonna really bug me. They're off by at least 2 minutes. Yes, question.
I did have one just regarding linear algebra.
Yes.
Started to creep in
Ah.
in the last semester.
Yeah.
Kramer's rule. So I'm curious.
So linear algebra is technically a co-requisite of this class. Co or prerequisite. So if you've already taken it, great. I don't know if I'm allowed to ask this. I think I am.
Go ahead.
I'll ask this. If you have training in linear algebra, so you don't have to reveal your academic background, raise your hand. Okay, so there's maybe a third or a quarter of you. And then if you are currently enrolled in it as a co-requisite, so okay, so everybody, good, because we're going to use it a lot this term. I start us gently though. But you guys, we're going to do stuff like eigenvalues. I'm glad I don't have machine design with you guys. This would be terrible. Okay. So eigenvalues, eigenvectors, understanding matrix multiplication, matrix inversion, transpose. I think that's like, those are the main things you have to know from linear algebra for this class, which isn't that bad, really. There's not a lot there.
Entirety of linear algebra. It's always talks
Oh,
about-
change of basis vectors? Yeah, that too. So, yeah, you know. But it's, I do also slow down and do examples of that too. So, shouldn't be too bad. Yeah. Any other questions? So, differential equations we're going to be using a lot. Linear algebra we're going to be using a fair amount, although it's not like nonstop. No problem stats in this class. For those of you who took my measurements class, maybe a sigh of relief. I don't know. I thought it was a fun part, yeah. Okay. I'm excited for this semester. I don't know. It just feels good. I just feel like we're having a good first day. It's good. All right. Okay, well, if there's nothing else, then I'll see you all on Friday. Look, get on Slack before Friday because I'm going to be sending out which notes are ready to print.